Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the MapleStory Epic Challenge by UF Gaming. So in today's video, I'll be attempting the Hard Magnus, as well as showing you guys the tips and tricks as well as mechanics that a free-to-play / pay-to-win player needs to take note of while fighting Hard Magnus. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys in a Cadena's point of view on how to maneuver around Magnus as well as what to do when fighting Magnus. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So the first thing you want to do as you enter Magnus is to buff up immediately, because as you enter Magnus, the fight starts immediately and you wouldn't have time to buff here and there. What you want to do is to use all your important buffs first before going in. So what I did here was to enter and straight away bind so that I can chip Magnus down to as much health as possible. So as you can see, Magnus has this skill where he raises his sword upwards and then he swings his sword around him. That skill is basically a knockback spell, and what you want to do is to stand further away from him so you don't get pushed away by, or you don't get knocked back by that spell. And currently Magnus is constantly using this spell when he's flying into the sky as well as shielding himself with his wings. Yeah, so for that skill, what you want to do is to really stand under him, because after charging up for a while, he will shoot his blast left and right, as you can see, and that blast is lethal and it will kill you immediately. So apart from all this, Magnus also has a dash spell, which you just saw in the video. Is that when his sword lights up white, he's charging up to dash to another side, so he will be dashing to the side in which he is facing. So you have to watch out for this dash as well, because it will position Magnus in a position that may be away from you and may put you in a worse position. So you have to really take note of it and dash along with him to stay inside the blue color zone. Because if you are outside the blue color zone, you will be taking in burn damage, and this burn damage will slowly kill you over time if you stay outside the zone for too long. And it also zombifies you, so your potion doesn't work properly, and if you use it, it heals little to no HP. So what you want to do is really utilize your binds if you have any, and do not revive immediately after you die. So what you want to do is to hold on to your lives, to your revive, and slowly let your bind cool down, so that you won't have to, so that you will be able to bind Magnus and fight him more efficiently. Also, as you can see, there are rocks falling from the sky. So these rocks are categorized in 3 different categories: the big one, small one, medium one. The small one being the green color. The green color one deals damage, however it doesn't deal lethal damage, so you just try your best to dodge it. However, if you don't dodge it, you won't die immediately. You will just take on a couple of damage, but it isn't lethal, and the damage isn't that much for it to matter. So what you want to do is to avoid the blue and purple ones. The blue and purple ones are one hit KO, so the moment it hits you, you will die almost immediately. So apart from these rocks, you also want to take note of the smokes at the side, because they are at the 2 sides of the map, the furthest left and the furthest right. There is this smoke machine, which you will be seeing. This smoke machine will actually puff up green color smoke, and this green color smoke will actually immobilize you. And once it immobilizes you, you'll be immobilized for like 5 to 10 seconds if it connects to you. I'm not very sure the exact timing. I think it's about 5 seconds. So the moment that the smoke gas hits you, you will be immobilized and most likely you will die because Magnus has too many lethal spells that he's consistently casting, as well as you will be taking damage over time due to yourself being outside the blue color zone, and you will just eventually die if you get hit by smoke. So what you want to do is to really keep Magnus in the center of the map so that you wouldn't have to deal with the smoke at the side of the map. So as you can see, I'm trying my best to dodge all the rocks and keep Magnus in the center. So apart from all the mentioned spells earlier, there's one more spell that Magnus does, is that when he will be summoning this green color circle that hovers above the ground, and then it will charge up for like about 2 seconds before shooting a beam downwards. So this beam is 100% lethal, and if you get hit by it, you will just die immediately because it's also one hit KO. So what you want to do is, if you see the thing hovering above the ground, just simply avoid it to your best ability. However, avoiding all these different things concurrently will pose as a challenge for people who are not familiar with fighting Magnus. So I mean, practice makes perfect. You can try practice like 5 times a day. They give you 5 times practice a day, so you can just keep practicing it. So like most bosses, Magnus also has 4 phases. As he switches to each phase, the blue color zone gets smaller, as well as the rocks start falling more consistently, and his skills somehow becomes more frequent. The rate of him casting skills become more frequent. The most annoying part is the rocks that fall from the sky more frequently, because at the 4th phase now, as you can see, there will be a lot of these meteor rocks that's falling from the sky, and the blue one and purple one are little, and it really makes Magnus very difficult to clear. So you can tell, I mean, Magnus switches his phase once every time you take down water of his HP, he changes his phase. So the first quarter he will be at phase 1, second quarter phase 2, third quarter phase 3, fourth quarter phase 4. So the blue zone just gets smaller and the rocks just get fall more frequently as he changes phases. So yeah, so there are a few things that you may want to take note. The first thing is that try to always stand at the edge of the blue zone. Do not stand too close or under Magnus unless he is using the spell that requires you to, or the skill that requires you to stand under him. If not, try to avoid him as much as possible, in a sense where you do not stand too close to him when hitting him, because when he casts the spell, the knockback skill, he will displace you, and it's really very annoying because not only does it knock you back, it also deals a bunch of damage, and it also stuns you for about 1 second. So one tip, I mean the biggest tip I can give you for Magnus is practice. If you practice and understand the mechanics, you will be able to dodge this skills more efficiently, and then it will cause you to die at a less frequent rate, which will allow you to slowly drag out your deaths and to kill Magnus eventually with all your binds. So as you can see, as Magnus reaches the 4th phase, dying becomes more frequent and it becomes almost unavoidable. It's very difficult to not die unless you iframe. Yeah, because due to all the frequency of the rocks falling, as well as the bunch of spells he's casting, they are mostly all 1-hit KO. So yeah, just stretch out your bind and wait out all of your binds, and then just slowly chip down Magnus. For the first 2 phases, try not to die frequently, maybe just die twice, but for the rest of the 3rd and the 4th phase, where things get a little more difficult, you can expect yourself to be constantly dying, like myself, as you can see. And at this stage is in the 4th phase already, and I'm struggling like crazy, and I'm struggling to stay alive. So what I did here was to just stay alive, do as much damage as possible to Magnus, and then I just simply wait out my time and my buffs, and then as my bind cooldown and my buffs cooldown, I revive, binded him, and then I just burst him down in one shot. Yep, so that is Hard Magnus cleared for today, and I hope you like this video. I will be trying to upload more of these types of videos where I do a playthrough of myself going through certain hard bosses or harder bosses in MapleStory, and I hope these guides help free-to-play players and pay-to-win players, or even players who are struggling with these bosses to actually take down these bosses. I'll also be uploading playthroughs and boss runs in other characters' perspectives, so that you guys don't just have to see Cadena every single video, and you guys will have a wider range of job classes. You will be able to view and see how each of them take down each bosses. So yeah, thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you like the content. If you guys like the video, do help us by liking, sharing, and if this is YouTube, do subscribe to it as well, because we also upload on Facebook. Leave us a comment on what you think about this video and guide, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye bye.